you will never be criticized by those that are doing more than you. If you haven't heard that quote anywhere else, just pretend I said it, pretend that I made it. If you haven't already checked out my other video that I made, it should be out before this, and that's the whole idea of just like people bringing you down and you creating like just very high confidence. If people around you don't have it, they're gonna hate on you, right? And then I briefly mentioned this line, right? The whole criticism thing, and you'll never be criticized by people that are doing more than you. It's just fact. That's how it happens. Those people are busy, they're doing things, right? And they don't have time to necessarily be bitter or hate on people that aren't doing as much, right? And if they are, they're an asshole, they're a terrible person. We all know these people, right? Just shut up. You're never gonna make it anywhere. You think too much of yourself. You want too much. You should be satisfied. Just take it easy. You should relax more. That's probably the lesser of all of them. Or just life is so boring, right? Like life is so boring. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do this. Just take it easy, stuff like that, right? So, and generally these are all people who are toxic friends and family members who just gave up on themselves and they're projecting. Projecting is a whole thing, right? People do that all the time. You yourself could occasionally have and probably will do that because we're all human, right? We're all sometimes jealous of what other people have, and that just happens, right? But you got to figure out a way to manage that. You can't project. No matter how shitty you feel, if you have like kind of a dark kind of phase that you're going through, whatever, never bring that on anybody else. That's not good. You don't want to do that. Understand people might be doing that to you, right? It happens all the time. It's just toxic people, messed up people, and they might be going through some stuff right now, and they're projecting all that dark stuff on you because they just hate seeing you do well or succeed. And then there's the people that gave up, right, and just decide to stay the same, right? And then they expect everybody else to do that. I think I only knew like one person like this, maybe two people, if I'm thinking about this right. We're not naming any names, we're talking about these people. But sometimes we all know those people too that just don't want to do anything more. They just want to stay in stay in place, right? They don't really have any loftier goals or ambitions, and if they did, they gave up on that. And then they speak from like a stance of like realism, like, oh, it's not realistic to do this, it's not realistic to do that, you're never gonna make it, stuff like that. That's where a lot of those comments come from. So there's those types of people. Two more types of people. There's people who don't want to put any effort into life. We all know them. These are people that just want to rely on unemployment, that don't want to do anything. They don't want to like further their education or really do anything. They just want to stay at home and do the exact same thing all the time, whether that's like, honestly, in most cases could just be playing video games. And I love video games, so no hate, but there's no contribution to like anything else in society, right? It's very important, I think. Like, believe me, we all have our passions, we all have our interests. If you want to go hiking all day, that's great, but what are you doing for other people? What are you doing for the community? It's very important. That's the whole reason why I think we go to school, and we get a job, and things like that. The whole thing is because we all need to be functioning, contributing, and well-mannered kind of citizens in society. And then the last type of people are just, these are also probably just close friends that might just legitimately care about you and just don't want you to be disappointed. We have those people too, very important. Like, those are great people to keep around, but just maybe limit a little bit of contact, because all that self-talk and just the ideas of you should do less, you should relax more, you're probably going to want to relax more. And then you're just going to give up on a lot of your goals, your ambitions, dreams, all this stuff. It just happens, it's just by association, it's going to happen. So just recognize when these people exist. Again, coming back to the whole idea of you'll never be criticized by someone doing more than you. Remember that all these people, save for that maybe last example of the kind people, right? They're just jealous. They're projecting. People that are generally doing more than you are just struggling with their own problems. They have their own problems, you have their own problems, and then they're there to help you, of course. But they're never going to criticize you or like ruin your self-image or ruin your self-talk or anything like that. They, first off, don't have the time for that. And second off, their problems are probably a lot bigger. So they legitimately have other things that they need to deal with day to day rather than just talk you down. That's just not a priority. So yeah, I mean, this hasn't, I don't want to say it happened to me too much. There's been a lot of growth over the past 6 years. Went off to college, graduated, had a couple jobs in college and then post-college and all this stuff, and got a lot of different experiences, moved cross-country, all this stuff. And there's been a lot of growth in the process. Like, I have tons of friends that I've had in the past, still stay in contact with, friends that I've made, also stay in contact with. And then I've been through that, able to discern, like, okay, these types of people are this, these types of people are that. Really, just once you start growing and really understanding more and building your self-confidence, all this, you start classifying some of your friends, right? You start saying, hey, these are great people to have a good time with, but maybe not the best when it comes to supporting you. These are people that'll be really great when it comes to supporting you, but maybe not the best when it comes to having fun, right? There's different groups, and it comes back to this idea I talked about in another video of having friends that are doing less than you, having friends that are doing more than you, and then having friends and essentially mentors that are doing way more than you, that you can aspire to be like, and therefore will set a high standard for you. So I haven't always had that higher group. I do somewhat now, and I'm working hard to build that out. But I've definitely had a lot of people that I've done essentially the same amount with, and then I went on to do other stuff, and now they're in the first group, which is doing less, right? And those are the people that I'll often criticize and kind of say these things. And then I made another video about just like the whole idea of just like negative self-talk and how that can affect your confidence and how that can often come from some of your closest friends, and that really sucks, right? So I've had a little bit of that in the past, which kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, you got to realize, you have to realize this, otherwise you're just going to fall in a hole, or you're just going to stay the same and you're going to give up. Don't let that talk get to you, right? Just really do whatever you want. Like, I mean, I say that in a non-spoiled way, but life is a game. It's a game that you can play however you want. It's like, as long as it's ethical, but there's so many paths you can take besides just the traditional going to college, getting a job, right? But even with that, there's so many different opportunities and things you can take. There's no set timer on any of your life milestones, right? You do whatever you want, whenever you feel comfortable doing it or feel like you're ready to take that step. I know people that are much older than me that may have had the same role as me right now, right? Because they waited that long because they felt more comfortable then. I know people that are much younger than me that have better roles than me right now, or a better place. And that's because they felt comfortable taking those steps regardless of what people say. So remember, life is a game. You can play it however you want. And years from now, because of that drive and that awareness and just not letting that criticism from people that are doing less or may not, necessarily be the best influences when it comes to your goals and your dreams, if you're gonna look back and you're gonna be proud of yourself for really trying, at least trying, even if you failed, right? You're gonna be proud because you at least had the courage to do what no one thought you could do. And in most cases, and not plenty of things that you are gonna do are definitely gonna work out. And then you're gonna find yourself way ahead of other folks and make much better friends at that point in time that are gonna support you and challenge you. Just because you got to that level and you were able to branch out and meet new people that aren't just the existing kind of negative group that you already have. You'll see a ton of growth, and there is nothing to be ashamed in of that. That's the most beautiful thing that can happen, and that's what this world is about. So don't give up, stay on your path, stay in your dreams, and don't let the criticism get to you. Anyways, y'all, that's the video. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think, and let's really smash that like button. Let's get this video trending higher than the amount of crazy, bitter people out there. There's a lot of them that'll really find any reason to complain about anything awesome that you're taking some initiative to do. And then please subscribe if even a fraction of my videos really resonate with you, and I'll see everybody in the next one. Peace out.